Hi everyone, and welcome to PosiTV, a series that shares good news and positive stories about people with disabilities. And I realized that I never really did an episode on why I wanted to start this series and why I think it's important to share those stories. So I wanted to kind of just do like a little intro episode to tell you why I wanted to start this and kind of give you my background about why I think these types of stories are important. So as some of you know, I used to be a news reporter and a news anchor, but I found kind of the day-to-day news very depressing. I was also a news reporter during COVID, so it really kind of takes a toll on your mental health if you consume that much news, and I just don't really think it's good to always be focusing on the bad things. And the reason I got into news reporting, news anchoring was to tell positive stories. The reason I like to share stories about people with disabilities is because I have a little brother with Down syndrome, so I am super passionate about advocating for people with disabilities and being able to share those types of stories that otherwise wouldn't be heard unless someone like me or another journalist was able to share those stories. So my little brother Evan and I are only about 2 years apart. I remember kind of back in the day when I was maybe 8 and he was maybe 6, there was like a little neighborhood barbecue, and we used to have like block parties kind of across the street, and all of the neighbors would go into the circle and they would have a fire, kind of party together, and all of the neighborhood kids would be there. And I specifically remember like these neighborhood kids calling Evan annoying and kind of isolating him and not wanting to play with him. I just wanted everyone to see Evan the way that I saw him, which was an amazing kid who's always motivated, who's inspiring, who's doing all that he can despite his disability. So I made it a mission of mine to continue advocating for people with disabilities throughout my life, and I'm super passionate about being able to tell their stories, giving them a voice, and sharing the amazing things that they're doing in their communities. My little brother Evan is also a Special Olympics athlete, and for those of you who don't know, the Special Olympics was founded by Eunice Kennedy Shriver, and it's the largest sports organization for children and adults with intellectual and physical disabilities. So I've been a volunteer for the Special Olympics for over 10 years at this point. I've sang the national anthem, I've volunteered keeping score, I've played on a unified team, which I think unified teams are super important because that's when people with and without disabilities come together to play on a sports team. Now, according to the Special Olympics of Southern California, it is a fact that attitudes can be changed through increased quality interactions between people with and without intellectual disabilities. And I think that the same goes for the media. I think that people of all abilities should be shown on the media. I think that people should be scrolling through their Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and see someone that looks like me just as much as they're seeing someone that looks like my little brother, Evan. So that's another reason why I want to be able to share these stories here on this channel. Also, about 1 in 5 people identify with having a disability, but they are extremely underrepresented in the media. So that's another reason why I wanted to start PosiTV. There's also just so much bad in this world, so much crime, so much politics, things like that, but there's also so much good in the world that a lot of people don't know about. So that's another reason why I wanted to start this channel. I want to share those good news stories. And I think by sharing these stories about people with disabilities and just good news overall will create a more inclusive world and just an environment for people to come and, take a breath from the everyday stress and just enjoy some of these stories and feel good for the day. So if you have a story you want to share, or if you know someone that has an amazing story, please reach out to me. You can DM me on social media, or you can also send me an email at courtneyadelmantv@gmail.com. I can't wait to share so many great stories, and I'll see you guys soon.